Welcome back to Fishing with Ants. Well, on today's episode, we're going to put the Minn Kota Weed Wedge to the test. I'm here in the swamp. I said when I installed this thing back in the off season that when the weeds came up at the swamp, we were going to put this thing to the test and just see just how effective this thing is. Now, I've fished with it for a while now. Obviously, we're in middle to late June here, and I'll hold my opinion to the end of the video, and I'll give you my full opinion, having fished with it now in fairly weedy conditions a good 4, 5, 6 times. So but today we're going to put it to the test. It is on the Enduramax size 44. Those of you guys that follow the channel, you know that this is also the Minn Kota motor that I replaced the head unit on right here. So it's got a fresh head unit. We got her hooked up with our Anderson connectors. Again, if you're new to the channel, check out our playlist for mods on the Pelican Bass Raider. These Anderson connectors, they were one of our best mods ever. My old fishing partner come up with that, and it's been fantastic. But anyway, so if you're new to the channel and you're wondering what that is, those are the Anderson connectors. Okay, but for today we're going to test out this weed wedge, and I think for the test I'm going to show you how it does in sort of light weeds and then medium weeds, and then we're taking it right through the heavy weeds over there, and we'll see how she does. So stick around. Let's start with what I would consider to be, as far as the swamp is concerned, light weeds. Now in this place it's pretty heavy weeds most everywhere. There's some open water over there, but I'm not going to test the open water. I will say I like the fact that the prop is bigger than the stock prop that came on this Minn Kota size 44. Like I said, I believe this is the MK6, and but I laid them side by side in that prior video I was talking about. But I did notice that you do get more speed when you're in the open water. There's slightly more speed. It's not, we're not getting up on plane here on the Pelican Bass Raider, but in open water with a bigger prop, as you would expect, you do get more speed. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to start over there because I think this is more light. There's some light weeds over there, and then we'll test the medium weeds in the middle, and then we'll go to the big boys. Test number 1. This is pretty open water here, somewhat, but there will be some weeds just barely on the surface over there, so I'll take you through those. So we'll do these. To be fair, we'll do them all at full speed because that's what it's going to take to get through over there. So if you're cruising along and it hits some weeds, you can see that it goes through them pretty well. It has no problem with it. Now, do I notice a gigantic difference between this and this? Is pretty open water here, so not that great of a test. Let me get into some minor weeds over here. So it does chop them up pretty well. It actually does. It does a pretty good job going forward. Key is you got to be going forward. I'll show you that in a second. All right, so here we are. We're still into, this is getting a little heavier, but still I would call this light weeds. You have some open water, and it's not bogging down. It's chopping right through them. Every once in a while, obviously, you guys that fish with these, you gotta kind of throw it into reverse. That clears the prop, and then off you go again. and pretty darn good. Definitely in the lighter weeds at full speed, it has no trouble. No trouble at all. I would say, probably about a 30% improvement from the regular prop in this type of weeds. All right. Now, I will say, the biggest disappointment, I'm kind of jumping to the end here, it does not do well in reverse. It does just, there's really no difference, and actually might even be worse in reverse. The prop must be designed from the weed wedge perspective to go forward, not reverse. So as you can see, I'll throw this into reverse, and this is, the prop is clear. And if you try to go in reverse at all, and again, I fished with the other Minn Kota motor for years, the other prop I should say. Tell you what, let me get over here. Again, in forward here, now this is probably more medium weeds. It's not quite heavy, and it's churning through pretty good. This is a size 44 Duramax, 45 pounds thrust. So then, but like I was saying, showing here, let me clear the prop. All right, let's make sure the prop is empty. Okay, clear that prop real quick. How do you like that technique? All right, prop is clear. So again, if you put this thing in reverse, it's just not gonna do well in reverse. And I don't think it's designed for reverse, because as soon as I throw it in forward, it chops right through. So maybe that's not a surprise to some of you guys, but to me it was a little bit of a disappointment, because I fish in reverse. Spy plane above, I fish in reverse a lot, and so the fact that it struggled in reverse was a little bit of a disappointment. I do like, though, when I get in heavy jam of weeds, the weed wedge does pull you through. All right, so that would be what I would say medium weeds, or light weeds over there. So this would probably be more medium, and then we'll go over in heavy. So let's see how she does going through the medium weeds. So get a nice empty prop, and let's full throttle, take it right on through. And this is like I've said, this is probably medium weeds for the swamp here. Again, only in forward. Reverse, it would never get through there. Now it's kind of bogging down a little bit, but if you stick with it, it'll get through. It will get through. So there you go. Back into open water. She got through no problem. Again, sometimes you got to back up. And then clear the prop, and off you go. And we're moving again. Let's see how she does in the heavy weeds. Now, I don't know if she's going to make it all the way through here. You may have to stop halfway through, but I just want to show you how it will do. In the heaviest of weeds. We're going to go from here all the way through. We'll see if she can make it. All right, We're gonna go through the heavy stuff here. Back up. Prop, it's all the way down. Well, let's do it. Heavy weeds. Here we go. Let's do your thing, weed wedge. If you watch back here, it's trying. You just gotta be patient. Again, most guys probably don't fish in this condition, but just for test purposes, we're gonna see if the weed wedge can get through these heavy weeds. We're about halfway through. It's actually doing pretty well. Pretty well. It's bogging down a little bit, but it's still doing its thing. Again, forward only. Reverse, you never make it. It doesn't work well in reverse in light weed conditions. I actually think it works not as well as the regular prop in reverse conditions, and that's coming from somebody that fishes in reverse a lot. All right, heavy weeds. She's chugging through, only a little ways to go. Look at the weed wedge doing its thing. Oh, I might have spoke too soon. I'm trying not to, not to alter the test by moving it all around. This is how you would normally use it in terms of if you got yourself in the middle of weeds. Now, nobody would go from there to there. You'd probably go around or something. But there could be a time when you're in the deep weeds. And here it is. It's coming through just fine. And it took a while, but look at the path she cleared. And now we're getting into lighter weeds. And it rolls right through. It's actually very impressive. Very impressive. And there you have it. Weed wedge. And right through the heaviest slop I could dish out. There she is. And she's got quite a bit of weeds on her, but she's still cranked. So again, if you throw it into reverse, sometimes that'll chop up the weeds and then clears the prop and off you go. All right. And there it is. There you have it. There's your test. Small amount of weeds, medium weeds, heavy weeds. Going forward, the weed wedge definitely does the job. It's definitely an improvement. I would guess in a situation like that, the old prop would not have gotten through it. It might have even gotten bogged down over there. This would have been fine. I probably would have had to clean it off a few times. But the weed wedge was able to handle all of it. Now, as long as you're going forward. If you're going in reverse, not so much. So overall, let me give my final review on this thing. I think it was worth it because it wasn't that expensive. I forget what I paid for it. I want to say it was $20 at Sportsman's Warehouse or something along those lines. It was very easy to install. Again, if you missed the video where I put it on, check out the link in the description below, and also I have a playlist of all the mods of this boat. It would be in there too, but specifically that specific video I'll have in the description. So it was easy to install, really a minor modification, and it was definitely worth it because I fish this swamp. If you guys follow the channel, you know I'm here a lot, and even in some of my other lakes, there's a lot of weeds. So I would say overall it was definitely worth a $20 investment. Easy to install, like I said, and it does the job. It does the job. I wish it did better in reverse, but I'm sure it's not designed for that. It's designed to go forward. So I would say it was definitely worth a $20 purchase. I would probably give us probably a score of about, I don't know, 85% or something like that if I was doing a full review on it. But I think it's well worth it. So again, this is not a, Minn Kota doesn't pay me to do any of this stuff. None of my reviews, I'm not paid by anybody to do any of these reviews. I just talk about the stuff that I use when I'm fishing, and that's it. I'm not here to sell you anything. If you're happy with your prop, keep it. If you're thinking about getting this, I would say get it for 20 bucks. It was worth it. I'm actually going to get the prop for my size 50 Minn Kota as well, just because even in open water they're bigger and you get more speed and power out of them. So there you have it. There's the review of the Minn Kota Weed Wedge on site at the swamp. Hope you enjoyed it. Hit that like, subscribe, all that stuff. Appreciate the support. We have playlists. If you're interested in this kind of stuff, I've got playlists of literally hundreds of videos on the Pelican Bass Raider modifications to it and all the fishing adventures. So check out the playlist, and happy to have you. The one thing about this channel, if you're new to it, I'm not going to sell you anything. A lot of fishing channels, they're trying to sell you every rod, reel, and lure they have. I'm not selling you anything. I just show you whatever the things that I use and give you my honest opinion, and I'm paid by no one. So that's the difference of this channel than many others. I'm not selling you anything. So I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for coming along. Hopefully we can catch some fish, and I can get it rolling here fishing wise. And I hope you'll come back and watch some of those videos too. So thanks for joining me. I'll see you next time on Fishing with Vance.